Welcome back. We know parents are well aware of how expensive it is to send kids back to school. You're going through that right now, Sam.
Right at this moment.
All right. A lot of families actually report that they fall into debt just to get their kids the new supplies and new clothes they need to start the school year.
That's right. And that's before we even get to the other expenses that you've not even considered. So to help us save money and avoid that debt, we're bringing in best-selling author and finance expert Rachel Cruze. Hello, welcome.
Hello, good morning. Thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you. And first off, let's just walk through your tricks for saving money on school supplies themselves.
Sure. Well, when it comes to school supplies specifically, there's a couple of things to remember. Number one, you have to create that list. And I know the school gives you a list, but sometimes you don't need all the supplies the very first day of school. So if you can space them out and that helps your budget, that's really key. Number two, think quality over quantity. So quality items are going to be great because they could last all year, but the things that you can go cheap on, go cheap on. And then lastly, I would say needs versus wants. Your kids are going to want things that they don't need. And so if the budget is tight, learning to say no, putting up that financial boundary, which is so hard for our kids, but it's good for them because they can actually learn a lot of life lessons in these small moments like back to school shopping.
Rachel, I think we all realize that we have to get the folders, right? The art supplies, even the clothes, new shoes, all that stuff. But sometimes school lunches are forgotten as a big expense that can catch some parents off guard. So what do you have as far as tips for saving money in the old lunchbox?
Yes, I know food is the number one budget buster in our household, and I'm sure so many people. And actually, we saw Consumer Reports are showing that it is up. Food prices are up 6.3% from last year. And so it is really, really important to be smart about this. So where you shop is key. So your grocery store, if you walk into the nice organic grocery store, you're going to pay more for groceries. But there's some budget-friendly stores, and so maybe you look for some items there. Store brands versus off-brand versus name brand, like all of these really play a factor when it comes to pricing. And so I think it's just being smart. And again, it's so much about being intentional. Again, if you walk into a grocery store and you don't have a list, you don't know exactly what you're going to buy, then you're going to overspend. And so really sticking to a plan is so important with your money overall, but especially when it comes to grocery shopping.
That's great advice. Being intentional, making a plan. What about after-school activities? That is another budget killer. So how should parents prioritize which ones are worth it and avoid overspending?
Yeah, this one's a hard one because I know I have 3 kids, and so you know, your heartstrings are pulled for sure because you want your kids involved in things, but you have to watch the price tag. So families with travel sports, I mean, they can spend upwards of $3,000–4,000 a year doing this. And so you have to be really conscious that you are making a decision that's right for your kid and not just for you, because keeping up with the Joneses and the comparison culture when it comes to this stuff is huge. And so setting your boundaries and saying, hey, if we don't have the money, we can't do it. We're going to have to find a cheaper option or maybe say no for a season, and your kids are going to be okay. But going into debt and overspending and stressing financially to put your kids in all these after-school activities and travel sports and all of it, it is not worth it. So if you have the money, that's fine. But again, don't stress yourself out financially just trying to keep up with everyone else around you.
I remember when our boys stopped playing travel baseball, my checking account actually smiled at me.
Hey, crew, you got a raise.
Yep.
Rachel, we tried to book out an entire hour with you, but we are out of time, unfortunately. So happy that you could join us, and thanks for all that great advice.